Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to fourth quarter. Welcome back. We are here on a wonderful Tuesday. We are here, me, Craig Mo, always ready for our takes. Not so hot, not so cold, but just right. All right, guys, what's going on? Also, you can find us on anywhere you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere. What's going on, guys? What is up? It's Super Bowl week. Super Bowl week.
Yes, sir.
It's going by fast.
It's hard to believe this might be the last game in the NFL season. Might be sitting here for a minute. Dude, back to the draft.
Oh, it's gonna. It's you know how the NFL season is. Right after the Super Bowl, it's going to be college basketball and the draft. Then March Madness comes, and then the NBA is going to start to rev up.
This is going to be even more lit next year.
And then the draft is in April. Yes, we're going live again for the draft. And you know what, man? This time we're going to commit. We're going to do the whole draft. We'll do the whole draft live. And we're going to commit to the whole draft.
We're going to do the
whole first round. The whole first round live.
Yeah,
give or take.
I was live the whole first round last. What?
Nah.
Well, I think we got off at certain pick.
Here's the thing: we got off at a certain pick, but we kept texting each other about what's going on. So we might as well be live.
All right, we did. That's right. All right, we commit to go live. We commit to stay live the whole first round.
Yeah, come on, man.
This draft right here gonna be very interesting. So.
Yeah, come on, man. We gotta go live. That is shit. If anybody didn't know, Carolina
at least Craig got me pissed this year because they ain't got no first round pick. So
Carolina is losing, but I think they'll be okay. Anyway, Mo, let's talk about your top 4 college basketball rankings, and then we're gonna go into.
It's gonna be crazy right now. I'm gonna go. Like, listen. Right now, I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm still gonna go UConn number 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Listen, I want to go North Carolina too, but looking at this game right now.
Oh, come on, golly.
It's tough. I mean, because I think on a neutral court, I think they'll beat Purdue. That's just my opinion right now. So I'll go North Carolina too. I feel like on neutral court they'll beat Purdue because I think they'll speed it up and make Edey do some things he really don't want to do in the pick and roll and stuff like that. So I'll go North Carolina 2 right now, but I'll go Purdue 3, and I gotta go Kansas 4. I can't go Houston, can't go Tennessee.
Kansas lost last night, right?
Yeah, they lost to Kansas State, but I mean, they beat Houston, so I can't go Houston. And then Tennessee, even though they beat Kentucky, Kentucky up and down, so it's kind of tough this year. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting NCAA tournament this year.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so I'm right now. I'm gonna go UConn 1, North Carolina 2. I'm gonna go Purdue 3, and I'm gonna go Kansas 4.
All right, Mo, continuing. What were your thoughts on the big North Carolina Duke game? Even though North Carolina is not doing good right now, but
I think it was a big win. You got swept last year, and what made it kind of look crazy was the transference of Mike Krzyzewski to the new coach. So it kind of looked bad. So I think North Carolina coming out and holding home court was great. The energy was great. I think Baycott playing well. You can see they wanted to speed Duke up and play kind of a fast game, and it looked like Duke was kind of rattled with that early on. So the energy was there. Bangkok played well. RJ Davis right now is an All-American. He's playing high energy. So I just hope North Carolina gets it going, because when that rivalry is good, when North Carolina's playing well like it is now, it's best for college basketball. Like college basketball was still good last year, but it just felt weird not seeing North Carolina in the NCAA tournament last year. So
yeah, definitely. Craig, it's a big game this weekend. Even though North Carolina's down, I think they're going to right the ship. But Craig, what were your thoughts on the Carolina big win over Duke?
It was, obviously, when, after the loss that they had against Georgia Tech, that it was going to be obviously a big emotional game because there's always it don't matter if the teams are ranked or not ranked or whatever the case may be. Duke versus Carolina is like to me it's the best rivalry in sports. But that game in particular, I thought that after that loss, I thought they needed a win, and they got a big win. Like Duke was turning the ball over, something Carolina didn't do for the most part throughout the whole game. They were scoring off the turnovers. They hit their threes. Their defense was really good, even though they gave up 84 points. They played really good defense, which is something that Carolina's been really honing in on this season compared to last season or the last couple seasons. Baycott played amazing compared to how he played the last 3 games before. RJ Davis, he kind of got off to a slow start. I think Duke's defense, they did a great job against him. They were kind of holding him away from getting points or doing whatever they needed to do to not let him go off. But he was able to end up with a decent game thanks to like free throws and a couple of big shots and things like that. So I was excited, man. When Duke Carolina comes on, to me, it's must watch TV. I kind of tune everything else out and just pay attention to the game. So I was happy, obviously, that Carolina got the win. I'm looking forward to the next game, which is in a couple weeks. So we'll see how that goes. And then it's on to the ACC tournament and then the NCAA tournament. So especially after last year, not them being the preseason number 1 team and then not making the tournament at all. And then both losing both games to Duke last year. So coming back this year, I was just really excited. And I like to see the guys that, like the transfers, they stepped up and they played well. So, it was good to see the 2 centers going at it, Filipowski and Baycott going at it in a low post. So I think Duke played. I mean, if Duke didn't turn the ball over, they could have possibly won the game. They played. I mean, they outshot Carolina. I think they had a better shooting percentage. I think they outshot them from 3. Rebounds was close, but they ended up just turning the ball over too much. So I was glad Carolina.
Let me ask you this. What moment in your life, and how old were you, when you knew I hate Duke? What point in time did that happen?
I think it wasn't even when they played Carolina. It was when they played Kentucky, and Christian Laettner hit that. They threw the ball down to Laettner, and he hit the turnaround shot against Kentucky. That's pretty much when I knew I couldn't. I hated Duke, even though they weren't playing Carolina at that time. I didn't like them. I don't know. It was just something about that school. Because I didn't get all the games growing up, nothing like that. So, but when the games was on TV, specifically that game, I actually got in trouble. I got in trouble by my friend's mom for saying I hate them or I can't something. And she yelled at me. I don't know if she thought I was talking about her or she thought I was talking about what, I don't know, but she yelled at me for saying something about me talking about the game or like I don't want to see this or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, so I don't know. But I mean,
you didn't cuss, right?
Huh?
You didn't cuss, right?
No, I don't know how old I was. That was like 10, 12, 11, 12, something like that.
She might have been like, don't be talking like that in my house.
I don't like
the word hate.
I don't want to see this or something like that. I don't know what I said, but it was just something that she took it the wrong way. I guess she thought I said something that I didn't say, but even still, that's what I really knew that at that point. But yeah, I just been against Duke since I was young. So
yeah, I don't. I mean, I get it. Listen. A lot of my friends are Maryland Terrapins fans and Carolina fans, and they do not like Duke. That's just is what it is. Like even Maryland, University of Maryland fans, they be like, "Oh, we could be even on North Carolina," but they say Duke. It's, I think I was it's funny. I was watching Knuckleheads podcast. And that's with Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson, where they interview NBA players. I love it. and they were talking to JJ Redick, and they were just like Quinn Richardson was like, I don't know what it is, man. I just hate Duke. It's like, he didn't have no explanation. He was just like, I don't know. But he was like, the stadium was live. He said he loved the stadium. He was like, oh, it's like, oh. He's like, I don't like Duke. He's like, I don't know what it is, JJ. He said, maybe because it's you. I don't know, but they're friends, you know what I'm saying? They JJ Redick and Quentin Richardson.
It's either you love Duke or you hate him. Duke is like
the
Cowboys and the Yankees, and I mean, I don't know what else is out there. Maybe like, I don't know if Alabama's on that level in terms of like you hate them or you love them, or Ohio State football or something like that. But it's like it's either one or the other. And I think the majority of the fans of Carolina are Carolina fans. And then there's like between Carolina State, and Duke, I don't know what the breakdown is, but I think majority of fans are Carolina fans.
Isn't it all the schools are, if I'm not mistaken, they're close to each other.
It's only
I've been on North Carolina I've been on the North Carolina Tar Heels campus, which is huge because I was just visiting my frat brothers come back from New Orleans, and they said I think it's Duke, Carolina, North Carolina State I think is in there too. It's one more school that's close there.
I mean, that's the only three that's really close. Wake Forest is
okay.
Further
All
away.
right, so it might be them three.
That's Duke and Carolina are only like 8 miles apart, so it's not that far.
That has to be a crazy college town.
And then Carolina
State.
State.
It's Durham, right?
Yeah, Chapel Hill, then it's Durham, and then Raleigh.
Yeah, that's super close. Durham is super close to Raleigh. That's interesting. That's like a college. Damn, that's kind of like if it's College Park, and then
you're gonna see them. You're gonna see everybody for the most part. I mean, you're gonna go downtown.
Yeah,
Carolina.
I'm trying to think what's close to College Park. Say like it's College Park, and then there's another big school in Greenbelt, and then there's another big school in Landover. That's like how it is. Well, I guess 8 miles.
I mean, it's not. It's
maybe Bowie, but Bowie State's a small school. But that's just crazy how 3 big schools are close like that. So they're basically like almost 20 minutes.
I think it's on like a 10-minute drive to get to Carolina.
That's crazy,
or whatever. So it's not that far. It's right down the street for the most part. So
that's crazy. That's like Largo having a big college and Bowie having a big college, and then College Park, and it's like all of them are like college towns. That's interesting, you know. Because I know Duke's a small school, but Carolina's huge, man.
Yeah, Duke's a private school.
Carolina's campus is huge. Now we talked about this off the air, and I know you wanted to. You have your thoughts on this. The NBA, as we all know, the NBA is down to 65 games. Now, last year, there was no limit on games where you could become an All-NBA player, an MVP, all defensive teams, all NBA teams. The requirement this year with the new CBA is that it's 65 games.
In 20 minutes. You got to play 20 minutes.
Yeah, in 20 minutes. Yep. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm for the rule because I just think that it's like players back in the 80s and the 90s and even going back before that, they played for not everybody, but for the most part.
Early 2000s.
Michael Jordan played 82 games like 9 times or something like that. Gary Payton, I think, did it like 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
And medicine and technology has come a longer way compared to how it was back in the 90s. Not only that, players are making more money than they were back then. So how can players go out? Michael Jordan, I think, averaged maybe like $5 million for his career. Something like that. Besides all the Nike and all that's in the Gatorade.
Yeah.
But to get that, and he's still going out there and he's playing 82 games compared to guys making like $50 million a year, and you're playing 60 games, 65 games, and you're complaining about how the rules are what they are. The rules are what they are because you guys don't play. And it's not all the players. The owners have say in it too. They don't want their players to play certain games so that way they can be ready for the playoffs and all that. But still, like, it comes back to load management. And this is what's going on with load management, is that you have a rule that you have to, if you don't, like Joel Embiid, he's not going to be able to be MVP, even though he's having a clear-cut number one MVP type season.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate that his injuries are going to stop him from being MVP. I think even without the rule, I think that his injuries would have stopped him from being MVP because he just would have missed too many games at this point. But certain other players that if you don't play enough games, you're not going to be eligible, and then that's going to hurt your dollar going forward when you come up for contracts. Come up for like you didn't make all NBA team because you didn't play enough games. Now all of a sudden you're not going to get as much money as you would have. And I blame Greg Popovich for this. It's his fault.
I was about to say the same thing.
It started with him, with Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker not making a primetime game against the Heat. And I mean, he sent him home, and then from that point on, it's been some type of load management. And I mean, it kind of goes back. I ain't gonna say it did start with him to the point where it is now. And back in the day, I think they kind of still had some type of form of load management, but it was like, all right, we're gonna put you in for like 20, 25 minutes or something like that, and that's it. You're gonna come out. You're playing a trash team. We don't need you to play the whole game. Boom, you're gonna play the 25 minutes. You're out. You ain't playing the whole like 38 minutes like you normally would. Something like that. Now it's like you sit out the whole game. So I'm glad the NBA put this rule in play because now because the fans are getting at the end of the day, it's the fans. The fans are getting cheated out of some players who don't show up, and that's what you pay for. Like you want, I don't know who said, I think it was Michael Jordan or Kobe or somebody said it. Like you want to have some. I'm paraphrasing, but like you want to have your fans when they come see you to have like a lasting impression, or this is the first time they've ever seen you. Like you want to go out there and put on a show, or at least show them that you're playing. And some of these guys, they don't play, so I'm for the rule. If they can't play 65 games, then it is what it is.
Yeah, so it's been a very interesting dynamic that I have seen with this, right? You have some people are against it, right? Some NBA players, Gilbert was like, he doesn't like the rule. Then you have I understand it because it's like, all right, I mean, even with 65 games, you're still missing 17 games. That's a lot. You have football players. I've never said this. This is coming from James Jones, wide receiver. He said on Speak, football player. He said that NBA players are soft. So I wish I could miss games. NFL players don't really. I don't think they have an option. If they miss a game, they're really hurt. I think that's what he was explaining. And he was like, man, they get to miss 17 games and he's still crying. He was like, NBA players are soft. Now, I don't think that. These are professional athletes. So, but, soft could be determined in a couple ways, but I'm not calling anybody out their name. That was from James Jones. Then I saw a clip from KG. He's saying like, hey, players are soft. They don't know how to deal with pain nowadays. So my thoughts of being a fan, I do agree it started with Pop. Because we know Kobe played as much as he could. KG, Dirk, Allen Iverson, Kenyon Martin. Like when we were growing, even Gilbert, Gilbert was playing games, right? So and then it sucks because if you get hurt and you miss 20 games, you miss I think it's Halliburton was supposed to receive, I think, extra $40 million if he made the All-NBA team, but unfortunately he got hurt, so did Joel Embiid, and it's just a part of the game we play. My thoughts are, I think that for sports players, I think the 65 games is a good amount of time. And the players agreed to it. This isn't like they knew it was coming. It was agreed into the new CBA. If they have a problem with it, then they shouldn't have signed it. But I mean, if you don't sign it, it comes with lockouts. It comes with players not getting played. So if it's 65 games, that's 17 games. I believe it. You know.
Another thing is that
I think it's okay.
Halliburton's never played more than 58 games in the season. So what are you talking
there
about?
It is.
And
See?
not only that, is that the NBA has a contract negotiation coming up with TV networks coming up. All that's coming up soon. So why would you want to have who will want to pay for teams that are just sitting out players or whatever it is, or for load management reasons or whatever the case may be? Like, these players played hard in that in-season tournament for $500,000 a piece or whatever it is. They played hard for the most part. Now look at them; they're just like it don't even matter. It's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. As a fan, like I feel like you're getting cheated as a fan if you go to some of these games. You spend all this money.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
$1,000 for a suite or whatever it is for 4 tickets or something like that. You go to one game, and the star player on both teams is sitting out or whatever. You just wasted your money. You could have sat at home and watched the same trash.
That is true. And Craig, I'm about to let you go. Just to Craig's point, it doesn't even have to be a suite. I think sometimes it gets. You know what I'm saying? Sports games are expensive. Y'all know. You've been to sports games. Hopefully, we can go to a Defenders game this spring. But it gets expensive. You got to pay for the tickets, pay for food, pay for drinks, whether you're into it or not, or even fountain drinks. It's expensive. It is. You know what I'm saying? If I go to an NFL game, I know that I'm have to have at least 100 plus because it's going to be food. It's expensive. So Mo, what are your thoughts on the 65 games?
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at all. Your record going to be what it is. I don't think the 17. I don't think if you take away 20 games or 17 games is going to make a difference in certain people's records, or certain people. Everybody gonna cry like, "Oh, we had more games, we could have made the playoffs." Yeah, okay. So I mean, I'm not saying players are soft. The league has made it soft now. I'm just what we're seeing nowadays is. I'm not gonna say, players are growing at a rapid pace and maybe the talent level or whatever, but like look at the Roos, look at everything going on now. Like, a lot of players, defensive players going in there playing timid. Outside the veterans, how many young dudes are we seeing press the ball like that, play up on the ball like a Patrick Beverly or somebody like that, or Marcus Smart? Or anybody like that. A lot of these dudes are giving dudes a whole bunch of space, and it's free range now. It's not you scared to touch somebody now because they're gonna call it because they want to see, like, how many times we look at a stat line and a dude might have 40 points, but he shot 23 throws. Like come on, like it's just crazy.
It is. So,
but
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not
mad.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the 65 games. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's stupid. Like, I get it. But at the same token, how the league is downgraded its physicality, I still would look at it like, why Mama's crying? Like, the physicality is crazy. Like, you can't even sneeze on a dude, especially with the new rule of, you got to let them land with the jumper and all the other stuff. All these rules in places, like, they're protecting you more than ever before, but we're crying about games now. You know what I'm saying? So just like now, I think Philly was hiding Embiid's injury, and they got fined for they didn't report it. So
and
now people like, well, what are they doing with Embiid? Because they said meniscus tear, but then they said the procedure. After the procedure, they said he only gonna be out 4 weeks.
Oh, and Craig, this is a good point, and this is why they probably agreed to the 65 games. That TV deal's coming up. And this is a good. Before we move on to the next topic, I was listening to Colin Cowherd podcast with Nick Wright, and a very interesting question came up. Craig, and I want to ask you this before we move on. When Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry retire, who's going to carry the who's going to be the next NBA, like the face of the NBA? Is it going to be Luka? Is it going to be an American-born player?
Luka definitely is going to be up there. I think Anthony Edwards.
I like him. I really like him.
If Ja could actually stay out of trouble, which I don't,
healthy,
he has a chance. Same thing with if Zion could get back to get healthy and could be. He's actually on the court this year, which is new.
Good. It's good.
And then obviously outside of those guys, I mean, you're looking at a guy like Wemby. And then like you look at this year's upcoming draft, like the top 3 picks in the mock drafts are from overseas. 2 guys from France and another guy from I can't remember where he's from, but he's from overseas as well. So there's no guy in the top 3 coming from the United States at this point. So it's going to be, I mean, tough trying to find a face that's like American. Besides maybe like I just said, Anthony Edwards is probably like. Maybe not because Gillis Alexander. I think he's really good. I don't know if his team. Same thing, I guess, with Anthony Edwards. Like they're not on the Lakers or the Knicks or somebody like that. They're not on a
big market. Yeah.
So, but I think they have the talent to be the face of the NBA if they push them. It just they gotta. I mean, because Kevin Durant was in OKC, and he kind of pushed it to that narrative. So if the Thunder keep playing the way they're playing, they have an opportunity to push him in that same direction. But
it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be because after those,
because LeBron, Steph, and KD held it down for a minute.
Yeah. Giannis is still gonna be probably playing. He's gonna be in his 30s. Jokic is still gonna be.
Tatum might.
That's another one. Tatum, yeah.
Tatum might, but it's a good. They posed that question. I was like, because listen, the NFL right now is doing phenomenal. Their ratings are good. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed this NFL season. It was some phenomenal games on. People like watching Patrick Mahomes. The Lions are good. Chicago might be good. Now listen, they went from the Patriots to the Chiefs, kind of like how the NBA got blessed, right? It's hard, right? They went from Magic and Bird to Jordan to Kobe and Shaq to LeBron, Steph, and KD. That's a good run. That's a good run. You know what I'm saying? So the NFL went from Tom to Patrick Mahomes, and then you still got the NFL is going to be the NFL. You got Lamar, you got Allen, you got Burrow, you got CJ Stroud, you got Love. It's just you got Purdy, right? So the NBA is going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to, because the NFL is they're killing them. They're killing the NBA. And I want to see.
There's nothing.
I want to see this. Nothing. I want to see this. This is going to be a very good thing before we, before you talk about the Commanders, Dan Quinn hire. I really want to see, because I believe Christmas is on a Wednesday. I want to see if the NBA plays an NFL game on Christmas this year. Because remember, it was on the weekend. Man.
They don't. Play, they're not going to play on a Wednesday. And if it was
I hope not.
I don't think.
I mean, they are. They're playing on a Friday this year, though. They are doing on a Friday with the Brazil. They are doing a Friday, I think, opening weekend with.
I'm sorry. Christmas is on a Thursday. The NFL is definitely gonna. They're gonna have 3 games on that day. They gonna have 3 games. My bad. It's not on Wednesday, Craig. You know why? No, I'm sorry. That's 2025. It is on a Wednesday. It's on a Wednesday. And then it's on because 2024 is a leap year. Then it's on Christmas is on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. Golly. And you know the Christmas is the NBA's big. That's the moneymaker. So I don't know. This year I'm just gonna be eyeing it because I don't think they'll play on a Wednesday. But if there's an NFL game on Christmas, I'm gonna be like, all right, guys. They we'll see. We're gonna see. Mo,
Christmas game.
I hope not. But I don't know. The NFL about to make a run. I know if Christmas is on Thursday, they're gonna have 3 games. They're gonna have 3 games. And it's just gonna be considered a regular Thursday for them, especially for the players. All right, Mo. Let's talk about the Dan Quinn hire and Kingsbury as well. Because the Commanders hired Dan Quinn, and then they hired Cliff Kingsbury. What are your thoughts on Dan Quinn and Kingsbury?
So with the 3 that were left, to my understanding, it came down to Dan Quinn, Anthony Weaver, and Eric Bieniemy, to my understanding. That was last 3 left after all the hires happened.
Yes.
So in that context, it makes sense. But to me, it's like something was wrong with us to why these other people turned us down and took other jobs. It's just confusing to me. But I get the Dan Quinn hire because with what you dealt with what you have dealt with, and some of the players you need to convince to stay, I don't think you could have brought in a new person to convince some of these players to stay, if that makes sense. And especially because you hire a dude within the division, seeing what he's done and how he's helped some of his defensive players. I think sometimes in division, when you're in division, you see things. You see things more in division. You see your fellow people in division. You see what happens in division. So at first I was like, why? I was like, I don't like this. But then I looked at it, I'm like, if you're in division, you look at your division almost more than you look at the whole NFL. Sometimes you look at your own division and kind of it's tight because you're playing the people 2 times a year. So I'm looking at it like, can some of these players look at how he's developed Michael Parsons, how he's kind of developed the secondary, how now he's the biggest thing with our defense that has been wrong over the couple of years, he's been the best at. Mm-hmm. We don't cause turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, now let's look at it and be like, all right, here's a dude who now is coming in to help fix some of the 2 things were wrong. And then I like, and I mean, I've heard some things. I want to see if he's about this life. But I heard that the dude they brought in to be a defense coordinator, that was the DB coach. I'm hearing he's pretty much like said off the bat, they're demanding running to the football and tackling, which we sucked at last year. We were terrible. We were terrible at running to the football and tackling last year.
Yeah.
It looked embarrassing.
Yeah. So
I'm excited from that standpoint. For Kingsbury, it's kind of wait and see for me. I'm not. Mm-hmm. It's a wait and see for me with Kingsbury. It's a wait and see who we draft. It's a wait and see how he runs the offense, and kind of it's kind of the same thing I would say from anything across the board. You can't judge anything to fix his offensive line.
Okay.
I don't care what coordinator you bring in, who you bring in, until we bring in some more offensive linemen. I see the offensive line gel a little bit more. I can't really judge nobody because it was that bad last year. So it's like I think I see why they did it, and I'm gonna say this because he's had such a hand with college quarterbacks, and I think bringing him in forces the hand to know we're going to draft a quarterback. It even brings home more. We're going to draft a quarterback. So that's why I say, and James, we had this conversation before we went live. If I'm Heineke, I say, get me out of there because it's the same San Fran situation.
Oh, you mean how?
How? My bad. How?
Yeah.
2 young quarterbacks, get me out of there. You clearly telling me I'm not worth anything. You about to draft a quarterback. Why sit here with 2 quarterbacks less than 4-year pro under each other? It doesn't. No, I wouldn't do that. So, I mean, it's a wait and see for me. I mean, I get it. I know why they're doing it, but it's a wait and see for me.
Yeah. Shout out. Thank you, Swain Bro Sports. He just subscribed. He's a Niners fan. Shout out, man. I know you're on the West Coast. Niners in the Super Bowl again. What can I say? Great franchise. Thank you for Adam Peters. I'm a Commanders fan. Hopefully he could do what he did for your organization for us. Shout out again. Thank you. I'm not mad at the Dan Quinn hire. At first I was, as always. I get emotional, then I start putting my thinking cap on. My friends call me crazy because they're like, "Oh, you're so emotional." I'm like, wait, time out. I'm a Commanders fan, of course. You're supposed to be emotional about your team. Yes, we did get the Warriors GM too. Yes, Bob Myers and Rick Spellman is as well. So I kind of like how the organization is going under new ownership. Yes, I am passionate about my team. Yes, I do get emotional. And yes, I yell at the TV on Sundays. So Dan Quinn is a good hire. Number one, he's a leader of men. Adam Peters, actually, him and Dan Quinn have a history. And they wanted a veteran coach because they have a high pick, which I understand. Players love playing for him. He's going to focus on the defense side of the ball. Everywhere he went, the defense is good. And he knows the division. So I think that plays into our favor. And I'm pretty excited. I think that we're going to get a lot of tackles. We're going to turn the ball over. We're going to be a different team. I'm saying this now, but I think it all hinges on the quarterback. Whoever we pick with the second pick, we're gonna. I personally, I haven't gotten to deep draft analysis. I've been looking at mock drafts. We're gonna do a mock draft later, actually, right after we talk about some more coordinator hires. But it's very early, and I'm getting mixed results. I watched the Senior Bowl. It's a slow process. I'll start doing more research this weekend. We'll probably have some more topics about the draft coming up, and we're definitely going to talk about the Super Bowl reaction. So I like the hire. I like Kingsbury. I think that, and another thing about Dan Quinn and hiring a defensive coach is that a defensive coach lets the offensive coach do whatever they want on that side of the ball. The same as an offensive-minded head coach. They let the defensive personnel do whatever they want. And I think that's good control for Kingsbury. I think Kingsbury is an ultimate innovator. I think he works well with young quarterbacks. I think him and Kyler Murray didn't work out. I think they were too much as friends, but he has head coaching experience. They got to the playoffs there, so I think our offense is going to be interesting under him. And I can't wait. I really like the hire. I know people think we're getting Caleb, but we're not. He's going to go to Chicago. Craig, what do you think about the Dan Quinn hire and the Keith Kingsbury hire for the Commanders?
I kind of feel the same way I did about the Raheem Morris hire. It's to me. I'm not a Commanders fan, obviously, but I know that. Well, I can't even say I know because they didn't really interview too many offensive-minded coaches. I thought they should have tried to focus more on the offensive side because they just had a defensive guy. Now, granted, I think, I don't even want to say that Ron Rivera got a bad hand, but he kind of got everything. He had a horrible time here, and I'm not going to give him a pass, but he had to deal with COVID. He had to deal with a new owner. He had to deal with the name change. He had to deal with cancer.
A lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, a lot going on his plate that was unfortunate.
Yeah, we were always in the news.
But like I said, I'm not going to give him a pass or anything like that because he still coached the team or whatever it is. It's still his responsibility with the GM part and the head coaching part. But my God, he just had an unfortunate. I mean, and it just wasn't him. It was a bunch of players, but I mean, a bunch of coaches. But for him, like to deal with all this other stuff going on, with especially with the owner situation and his cancer situation, on top of already the COVID stuff. But for the hire, Dan Quinn, obviously he's a solid. He was a really good coordinator. I'll give him that, defensive coordinator. But I think he had the talent where he was at previously. Seattle, he had the Legion of Boom. In Dallas, he had Diggs, who was catching interceptions left and right. Bland this year, who had
Parsons
running touchdowns back. Micah Parsons, Marcus Lawrence. Like he had some pieces on defense that are big time names. Now I think he's going to have to. I mean, obviously, after the free agent, well, when free agency starts, that's kind of where I want to see what he does between him and the new GM, because they have the most cap space in the NFL. So even though they didn't really get the coordinator that they wanted, and then they were the last. I mean, not the coordinator, but the coach that they wanted. They were the last team to get a head coach. I think a lot of players possibly might want to come to Washington just because they had the most cap space. Like this is they're gonna get a quarterback, so they're gonna get a young quarterback, whoever that's Drake May or Jaden Daniels. So they gotta have that to build on, which they haven't had in since 2012. So
since 2003, yeah.
You're gonna have that, and I just want to see what picks that or what signings that they get for this team even before the draft starts, because that's going to tell me a lot about what's going on. And then I want to see him try to develop, because Forbes was obviously his first round pick last year, and he was a ball hawk in college, but he just wasn't. He didn't respond well to what was going on the field with this coaching staff that they had in place with Del Rio and obviously Ron Rivera. So I think they needs to focus on trying to get him turned around and trying to make him like be worthy of that first round draft pick that they used on him. Along with other guys, I think Payne and Allen are definite staples for that defense. Everybody else, I think in his press conference, I think he said, or I don't know, I'm going to paraphrase again, but I think he said Allen, Payne, and Terry McLaurin are like, that's it. So I don't know if everybody else is expendable, or obviously besides guys who are like younger talent like Forbes. But I want to see what he does with his team going forward. Kingsbury, I definitely wasn't a fan of his when he was with the Cardinals. I don't think nobody really was. I think he was a terrible coach. But I think his role as a GM, I mean, as an offensive coordinator, that suits him a little bit better. Suits him way more than being a head coach and running the squad. Yes. So I think he can benefit from that. And as long as he can try to instill some of those ideas and the some of his schemes for this up and coming quarterback, whoever that's going to be, I think it'll be fine. I don't think it's going to work out maybe like the first year, maybe like a Houston, but maybe like that second season, once the quarterback gets everything going and all the players kind of get used to what's going on, I think they could possibly be a team to contend within that conference going forward. So I don't mind. I know people were bashing it; they were giving it D's, and I seen some like C minuses and things like that. I mean, it's unfortunate because they were the last team, and Ben Johnson backed out. Slowick he was there, but I mean he got snatched up real quick. So they just kind of got left with whoever was out there, unfortunately. Yeah. So I think they made a good choice of who was left.
Yeah, and I think that especially with drafting a young quarterback, I think that's Kingsbury is good to go. I think Slowick, he wants to get another year.
Yeah, after they give him an extension,
yeah. Yeah, he wants to get, and then I heard some interesting things about Ben Johnson.
I heard he wanted some money or whatever it is, but
I heard he wanted some years, and I heard he wanted control. Like, he wanted some like Belichick type stuff over the offense, not over the whole team, but he wanted like complete control over who gets picked up, who free agency is,
Yeah.
And they Washington was like,
I don't think I would give that to a young coach.
Not to him, but I think there's going to be some opportunities out there next season because of the
Oh yeah,
it's possible that like Dallas and Philly,
Eagles, Philly, Buffalo,
Miami, maybe like
New Orleans.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Yes,
there's
indeed.
some really good teams out there possibly next year that could pique his interest. And he's still, I mean, unless he just falls off the map, he's still going to be a hot. He's still going to be a hot name out there next year.
Yeah,
probably at the top or close to the top between like him and Slowick, especially offensive guys. Him and Slowick and I don't know who else is out there, honestly, but
Evero probably don't get a job.
I mean, I was talking about offense.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Evero
gonna be up. He's gonna be up. He's gonna get it.
Unfortunately, I'm glad he stayed this year, but
y'all might lose him. I think he deserves it.
I thought they were gonna lose him this year, honestly, to like Dallas or something.
Yeah, they hired a lot of young. He gonna be up. He gonna be up. But let me ask y'all this. As far as the coordinators, were there any ones that like were good or any head scratchers?
I like both the Philly moves.
I like those two. I
like both Philly moves. They
were good moves.
I like them going Vic Fangio. I like them going Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
I mean Kellen Moore, he knows the division. I think he's gonna bring a little energy to him, and I think he'll have a chip on his shoulder. Like I just think after the Dallas move and now after what happened in San Diego, I think he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. He will come in with new energy. You giving him a wealth of talent. They gonna have a chip on their shoulder. I think it's potential for it to be explosive next year. Vic Fangio's, I think he's gonna bring an energy. He's gonna revive that organization. He's gonna bring on that side of the ball. He's gonna bring energy. He's gonna bring a physical mentality. They're gonna blitz. So I love that. I like the Chicago move. Shane Walden.
I like that too.
From Chicago, I like that move. I like that move. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with it's gonna be interesting to see what they do in the draft. Let me say this though. And I'm gonna say this right quick. And I know some people might say I'm crazy for what I'm about to say. Depending on what Chicago do in this draft, and depending on what Minnesota does with Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
The NFC North has the potential to be the most intriguing division in the NFC going into next season. Because of look what Love did last year. Look what Green Bay just did last year. Minnesota was decent. You gotta think about it. Before Kirk Cousins got hurt, they put a whipping on San Fran. Yeah. They went out there and embarrassed San Fran before Kirk Cousins got hurt. They put up yards on San Fran before Cousins got hurt.
Yeah.
They needed that game, and then Cousins got hurt. You look at now what we're looking at Chicago, and then we know what's going on with the Lions. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I question what Green Bay did at defense coordinator. I understand that was a college head coach, but you bring a college head coach instead of going out there with an NFL type person. I think he has NFL experience, but that was kind of questionable to me. I don't know. Miami, and I think James, me, you talked about this before we went live. Anthony Weaver, I put a quotation mark. It could be both. You bring in, he did interview for head coaching jobs, but you bringing in a dude to be a defensive coordinator for an organization who you're not. It's not like you're brand new to this. You've been in the playoffs for the last 2-3 years and have not got out of the first round. And now you're bringing a D coordinator with no coordinator experience. It's like you playing with fool's gold right now. It's like you playing with house money. You putting all chips in right now. And you know, it depends on let's see what he can do. So I like it both ways, depending on where to go. I like Anthony Weaver. He's done a heck of a job with the Ravens D line. But when you bring in a dude who hasn't been a D coordinator into an organization who has been to the playoffs and been there but haven't won it, you know, now there's a lot of pressure there. And Pittsburgh, Arthur Smith. That could be both. To me, that could be both. hit and miss because of what I saw in Atlanta with him not using his talent, but also seeing what he has in Atlanta. I mean, seeing what he has in Pittsburgh, when he has once again, he has two backs again. He has a tight end. I think Mike Tomlin's going to, now I think that he's not the head coach, because some people can't handle being a coordinator and handling everything. So I think now when he's just got to handle the offense, and Mike Tomlin like, I want this, I want that, it could go a different way. Now, because sometimes when you got to deal with the talent and you got to deal with the expectations and you got to deal with the whole team dynamic as a head coach, some people can't handle that. So I want to see what he does when it's like you only got the offense. Mike Tomlin like, I want to see this, I want to see this, do this. I want to see how he operates. I think I think it go either way. So I put both next to that.
All right, Craig. About you, any good hires, head scratchers?
I think the Arthur Smith thing kind of. I mean, the way he handled Bijan Robinson. I mean, he wasn't really like the whole, but he was an offensive guy. So I was like, okay, you got Bijan Robinson there, and he just. I mean, I don't know. Just the team just didn't respond to how he was coaching that team up to me. I get it that when he was with Tennessee, he had Henry, so he had a good running game there. So maybe he can kind of produce that same type of running game with Harris and Warren, because I think Harris and Warren are a really good combination right there. So he's got something to work with, but man, anything has to be better than Canada. So I mean, and they still were able to win 10 games. But that offense was horrible last year, so maybe Arthur Smith can come in and do something. I don't know. I don't really hate, but I don't really like the Vic Fangio. I thought I liked the Kellen Moore though, but the Vic Fangio, I don't know, man. I just didn't see enough for him down the stretch with Miami. The defense seemed to kind of. I know they had injuries and all that, so maybe that's a little bit of a pass, but I don't know yet. I'm still holding out to see what's going to happen with that defense, because that defense was, I mean, all that talent last year, and there's no way that defense should have played the way they played, and the team finished the way that they finished last year. So I'm still kind of about that one. See where that's going to go coming up. What's his name? Flores. I mean, not Flores. Was it Brian Flores?
He knew how he already witnessed.
He a Vikings. He Vikings quarterback last year. You mean Weaver?
Yeah, that's who it was. Weaver. I thought that was pretty solid. You know who I'm still waiting to figure out what's going to happen with is Martindale. I'm still waiting to see if he's going to sign maybe with Dallas.
Dallas is very interesting,
because I mean, unless Dallas is going to promote within, but they already lost somebody there with Quinn when Quinn left. So,
and they lost the defensive back coach.
Yeah, that's who it was. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah,
because I think Quinn was praising him on his conference.
Mm-hmm.
So. I still got some up in the air ones. I guess those are kind of up in the air ones. So I'm waiting to see what happens. Like I said, I do like the Kellen Moore. I think that's going to be really good for that offense, especially if they can get everybody back healthy and whatever the case may be. But and they got to figure out the running game, because the running game was just hit or miss last year. But I think the Eagles are going to be back again next year. I don't know about the Ken Dorsey thing though. Now that I think about it,
I had that on my list. That's it.
I'm trying to.
That's interesting. I want to see how that pans out.
Anything? I mean, something
that
has to be
pans
better
out
than what they've had with Deshaun for the last 2 seasons, especially this past season. I thought this was his coming back party or whatever it was, and he just was horrible. He was worse than I thought he was going to be.
I want to think Ken Dorsey hire is interesting.
My man thought Stefanski was calling plays though.
Who?
Stefanski? He might be.
Well, Alex Van Pelt was there, so
yeah. I don't know. I thought
I don't know who's calling plays though, but they said he's handing over the offense to Dorsey this year.
Okay.
So
we'll
see what happens with that going forward. I don't know, but
that was interesting. I was looking at that. He said he's not ready to call a primary play caller right now.
Who said that?
He doesn't know.
Stefanski?
Ken Stefanski.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said he don't know.
What's the
But
point?
I was looking at that. That's a very, very interesting hire.
What do you
I was like, Ken Dorsey.
So I mean, he must well Ken Dorsey to work the quarterbacks or whatever. But for now, and they help with the offense. But that's gonna be interesting to see. Are they bringing Flacco back?
Oh God, that's gonna be some controversy there. If you bring Flacco back,
nah, they're not.
Especially the way he
played. That's gonna be a lot of pressure. That's gonna be a lot of pressure on, like you said, Craig. That's gonna be a lot of pressure on.
I mean, Deshaun got to show up.
He won 11 games. He won 11 games.
He only had if Deshaun Watson doesn't play good next year,
his
contract is crazy.
Nobody's gonna want the contract. Nobody's gonna want his contract, and nobody's gonna want a quarterback who can't play.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, you're paying all that money for a guy who threw 6 touchdowns last year.
Mm-hmm.
Not acceptable.
Yeah. So this year he's owed 46.
Ain't no way. Cleveland just got
46.
Cleveland set themselves back. They set themselves back a couple of years with that. I thought it was a stupid. I'm glad the Panthers didn't get him.
I'm glad the Commanders didn't.
I know they were or whatever he was. I don't know, but
Atlanta was in that race too. I think.
I wish they had got him.
Who else? It was somebody else.
Was it Miami in it or something?
I think Miami was in it too.
Yeah, good people questioning to it. Yeah, I think it will.
Golly, he got 230 million guaranteed. 46, and 46. I'm looking at the contract right now. If they cut him,
he's got to be the most
$200 million
overpaid.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible player.
If they cut him 2025, $136 million. If they cut him in 2026, $72 million.
He was third quarterback taken in that draft for fourth.
I don't know.
He was taken before Mahomes or after.
He was taken before.
He was taken before.
No, he was taken after.
No, he was taken after. Remember,
Kansas City after. Kansas City moved up.
Oh, that's right.
It was Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
He was third. Yeah, he was third.
That was what, 2017?
That was
2017.
I think it was Lamar draft.
Yep. No, Lamar and Allen was 18.
So that was bigger.
So that was Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh,
so 17 was Mitchell Trubisky, Pat Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson. 18 was Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold,
Josh Allen, and Lamar.
Was it Josh Rosen before Allen? I think it was Josh Rosen, then Josh Allen, and then Lamar. I think Josh Allen and Lamar were the last two quarterbacks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Did Josh Allen go before Rosen? He might have. I can't remember.
Rosen went before him. Arizona moved up. I think in like 10th
to get him.
No,
yeah, because I think Allen is so it's the other way around.
Allen went 7.
And Rosen went 10.
Yeah.
Baker went 1. Darnold 3. Allen 7. Rosen went 10. Rosen went 10.
Yeah. And then Lamar went 31st. 32. So 32. Yeah. So Lamar. That's probably why Lamar and Josh Allen play with a chip on his shoulders, because I mean, if you do a redo,
Josh Allen won the top 10. That wasn't bad. I mean, you got other people like
but like
it's not like these guys above him haven't made a Pro Bowl or something. I mean, if you
but think about it, like if they would redo the draft,
if they redo it, he's going number 1.
He's probably number 1, and Lamar probably number 2.
No.
You think Lamar be number 1?
I'm saying for Cleveland, what Cleveland wanted at the time. I mean, it all depends on who the GM coach is. But I honestly think
no. So here's the 2018 draft. Right? We're gonna do this before. Actually, we're gonna go. This is a perfect segue into the next topic. So the 2018 draft. If you're Cleveland and you could do it over again, what quarterback you picking?
Probably
I
take
think it
it.
would have been Josh. Just if you take same
You
coach,
said Josh?
same GM, same owner, I think it would take Josh.
It's based off his arm talent.
Yeah.
And
You legit Josh? You doing Josh?
I probably
Craig, who's your number one pick 18?
I probably do Josh Allen.
Josh Allen?
Allen then Lamar, probably.
I think so too. I think the Giants would have got Lamar.
Saquon.
Woo, Lamar, New York. Woo,
Oh.
that thing would change the NFL.
Yeah.
It would have changed the NFL, boy, because they got Saquon. So
But I mean,
Lamar would have either been in the Giants or the Jets.
I think
Can you
Lamar.
imagine if the Jets got Lamar?
Yeah. But I think Lamar
It would
in
change the
Baltimore. I
franchise
think
around.
Lamar personality with what the type of town Baltimore
Perfect.
is. I think
Yeah,
it's a perfect fit too.
Same with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's perfect in Buffalo.
Yeah. Quiet New York.
Perfect.
New York. The fan base is rowdy, but his personality fits that New York. That type of New York.
That type of New York. You know
I
what
don't
I'm saying?
I don't know if he would last in Giants. I don't know.
Who, Josh Allen?
Yeah. I don't know if his personality would have been like Giants type of personality, but
Yeah. Saquon was drafted second. Denzel Ward was drafted third. Chubb was
about his
drafted
franchise tag again. They talking about they might franchise tag him again, but we'll say that for another day.
Well, yeah.
We'll
Rokon
say
Smith.
that.
This is a deep draft. Minta Fitzpatrick, Vita Vea, Deron Payne.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. Trayvon Evans, Derwin James, Jair Alexander.
Yeah. It was deep. Yeah, it's more.
Frank Ragnow, the center from Detroit.
Yeah.
DJ Moore.
Yeah.
DJ Moore was drafted that. Calvin Ridley.
The only dude out of that first round that kind of came out.
Lamar Jackson, of course.
Sonny Michel.
Chubb was drafted.
Sonny Michel, the only one that came out of that first round, kind of like, as far as what I understand why he got drafted first round, but now he came out.
Yeah.
Sandow.
Yeah, Sandow too. Yeah.
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen.
There's some bums in there, but
I don't think Colton Miller. I don't think he played.
I don't know where he at now. Yeah, he was the greatest, but I don't know where he at now.
Yeah. This was a good draft. Nick Chubb, Harold Landry, Courtney Sutton.
Yeah.
Josh Jackson, the corner. Christian Kirk, the wide receiver.
Is the
Dallas Goddard.
Both the Edmonds brothers was drafted that draft, right?
Yep.
Both the Edmonds brothers. The linebacker still playing well with Chicago. I don't know about the brother, the DB. I don't know where he at. He got drafted by the
Yeah, he might be. Let's see where he at. He is.
But
he's on Tennessee. Okay. He's on Tennessee right now.
I know
he was on Philly. Yep, he got drafted. This is a good draft.
They brought Ryan Jazier out with his injury. He came out there with his fiance. I remember that. I'll never forget that. Man.
This is a good Fred Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Warner was drafted. Justin Reed, the safety. Mm-hmm. This is a deep draft. Oh, Mason Root, Sam Hubbard was drafted. Orlando Brown Jr. was drafted. This is Mark Andrews was drafted. This is a deep draft. Goodness.
Baltimore kept trading down. I remember that. Baltimore kept trading down.
Yeah. I think Josh.
They need draft. Now they drafted Andrews third round. They need draft Andrews first round. They drafted
they drafted third
Hayden
round.
Hurst. Hayden Hurst.
Yep, Hayden Hurst. So speaking about the draft, everybody's mock draft is out, and we're gonna do 1 through 10. All right, so 1 through 10. We're gonna go around. Number 1, I have the Bears drafting Caleb Williams. He came out and said it doesn't matter who is the first overall pick. I'm gonna go there. I was talking to a Chicago fan. He was worried. He was like, but the system's messed up in the structure. And I said, listen, if y'all pass on another QB, y'all already passed on Patrick Mahomes because you drafted Mitchell Trubisky. You passed on who else? Who else did they pass on? CJ Stroud. They're gonna draft CJ Stroud last year. They passed on him. They have a chance to draft a quarterback. I said, I know Chicago fans are like, oh, our structure's messed up. We don't do good. I had to remind them. I said, you forgot what Joe Burrow did at Cincinnati. They were terrible. And Houston was terrible. He said, no, Houston wasn't. I said, what? They just fired back-to-back coaches. They were terrible. I was like, listen, draft Caleb Williams, and if he's not good, you'll have another high pick. But I think I think you have to draft him. That's my 2 cents. I saw something. They said Chicago Bears quarterback hasn't thrown for 3,000 yards since like 20, 30 years. You can't compete in the NFL. You're gonna have to see Jordan Love and Jared Goff twice. You got to get a quarterback. But anyway, I got Caleb Williams first. Craig, who you got first in the 2024 draft, in your mock draft?
I got Caleb as well. The only thing that really concerns me about Caleb is his fumbles. I mean, his ball security is
ball security
not that great, but I think he's got under control because he doesn't really throw any. At least in college, he didn't throw that many interceptions. I think he threw like 14 total, but he had like over 30 fumbles. So he's got to get that under control. But he's clearly the number one quarterback. So I mean, the number one player in the draft. So
Mo, who you got number one?
I got Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it's just simple.
I mean,
they're gonna have to take. They're gonna take them.
I mean, they gotta take them, and then the beauty of it is this. My thing is a business, so I get why the whole. So this is my problem. It's a business, and that's why they holding out with Caleb Williams. I mean, with Fields. You know they're gonna draft a quarterback, but they gotta hold their hands. So as long as they hold Fields, their name won't stay in the paper. People gonna be speculating. So it's like they probably know what they're gonna do, but it's like it's messed up. But it's the business of this game. They're holding Fields kind of hostage. Fields can't say nothing to other teams. He can't talk to other teams right now. He gotta sit here and kind of be like I don't want to say a yes man, but he gotta kind of sit here and let the chips fall where it may now, because it's like, all right, I gotta sit here and let it fall where it may. Because I can't say nothing. I can't go talk on no teams. I'm still in the contract with the Bears. They're not to give me permission to shot myself. So it's like, I wait to see what they're gonna do.
So I think they said they can't trade until March 13th. I think so. Yeah, Mo, they can't trade until March. So they can't do nothing until March 13th.
Oh, okay, got it.
And they're probably not going to trade. They're probably not going to trade him until they probably trade him. Probably draft. Probably after draft. Probably. All right, Craig. Second. Who you have second?
It's tough. It's up in the air, but I think I'm going, as of right now, I'm going with Drake May. It's between him and obviously and Daniels, but I'm going with May slightly. I just want to. I mean, I got to wait to see what the coaching staff does in terms of free agents with Washington, but I think they can make it work, and then I think May is going to be. Even though I know people saying like, don't draft the Carolina quarterback because they're terrible, but people say the same thing. I would say the same thing about Ohio State quarterbacks for the longest time. And then finally CJ Stroud kind of broke that trend, I guess. So I'm going with
Mo, who do you have second?
I'm going Daniels, and I'm James. I think we talked about this before a little bit, but I was talking to people about this. I think Daniels fit more with what Kingsbury wants to do. Now with that Kingsbury hire, I think Daniels fits it more. No respect to May, but I just think Daniels fits more what he might do, especially when he had Caleb Williams. He had Caleb Williams as far as being at USC. Then he had Kyler Murray with Arizona. I just think it fits more. So I think we're gonna go Daniels.
I think the opposite. I think May. I think May is 6'4", prototypical. He's athletic. He's going to be a pro's pro. I think his father, I know he's North Carolina. Everybody's like, oh, it's another North Carolina quarterback. He's been a good player since we've been talking about Drake May for years. So I think that, and he's athletic. I listen, Kingsbury also worked with Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes. I just think they're going to go for the prototypical six. If he's a 6'4" Justin Herbert, I would take that. The problem with Jaden McDaniels, people comparing him to Lamar, but we're gonna see. I don't know. I just think with Dan Quinn's hire, I think they're gonna go for a prototypical quarterback. Mo, third pick. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Drake May. Since I said Daniels, I'm gonna go New England's gonna get a quarterback. So I'm gonna go Drake May. I think they're gonna move on. They don't get much for they ain't gonna get much for Jones, but I think they're gonna trade him because I think it's just too much of the back and forth there. I think you want to start over fresh. So I think they're gonna trade Jones. And they're gonna go Drake May, North Carolina.
Craig, who do you have as your third pick?
I got Jaden Daniels. I think obviously New England needs a quarterback. He's the next best quarterback if May's already gone. So I just think that they need to figure out what they're going to do. I think this is a new regime taking over, so you got to hit on the quarterback. I think they're going to take one and figure out what they want to do with Mac Jones going forward. Obviously, he's not the answer, and he's not the guy that Mayo drafted or anything like that. So he has no ties to him. So he's going to get his guy, and I think it's going to be Daniels right there.
Yeah, I think Jaden McDaniels goes here. I think the Patriots. I think it's going to be three quarterbacks. 2 and 3. I don't know yet. But I think it's going to be Jaden McDaniels. Just to restart. Just do a restart. I think this is easy. The Cardinals would love this. I think it's going to happen. Unless the Patriots draft him. I've seen some mock drafts, but I don't believe it. I think the Cardinals get Marvin Harrison. He's the best receiver in the draft. And Steve Smith said he's better than his father. And Marvin Harrison agreed. That's all I have to say. Who you got, Craig? Cardinals 4, probably the same.
Yeah, I got more.
I got same. Yeah, we can more. Yeah, we got.
Yeah. Chargers number 5, Craig. Who you got? This is probably the same.
I don't know. I got
Let's see.
I have Neighbors.
I had him too. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I had him too.
I had
him.
Oh, how you say the guy from Washington? I think he's like 6'3", 6'4". I think they already they just drafted a 6'4" guy last year.
Roman Aduzier.
Yeah.
Duns. I'm sorry. Roman Duns. They
just drafted a guy in Quentin Johnson last year. He's like 6'3", 6'4". They already have another 6'3", 6'4" guy with Williams, and Keenan Allen's like 6. I don't know. He's 6'2" or something like that. He's over 6 foot. So I think they needed somebody kind of shifty, kind of small, kind of like kind of the speed type guy, and I think they get that with Neighbors. So I went with him.
Like that.
I think the Washington guy, he's 6'3", 6'4". So yeah, I'm going with a smaller guy for the Chargers.
Mo, who you got for the Chargers?
I'm going Neighbors too, but I wouldn't be shocked at Brock Bowers.
I wouldn't be.
Only because of the hire. Only because of Harbaugh. I wouldn't be shocked at it. Bringing in a tight end like that you can move around, physical. You can use him in different places, especially with a Herbert. You know what I'm saying? Being with that play action game, all that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think they'll go with Neighbors because they need that. He knows in that division you got to do something that's going to match points.
So I had Neighbors on here, but I think it's going to be a receiver run. But I had Neighbors before, but I had Brock Bowers. I think that because they have so many receivers, I think they're going to go with a tight end. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a receiver. Like, I think they're going to go straight up offense. Mo, Giants.
That's it. So I think they're gonna go dude from Washington.
Roman.
Either that, or I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna go O-lineman from Penn State. Either one. I wouldn't be surprised at either one. Like, this is where it's gonna be a toss-up. Like, they're gonna be really going back and forth, almost in a sense of how Cincinnati was doing, where you had O-lineman right there and you had Chase right there. Which one you go with?
Yeah.
So I would if I was them, I'd go receiver, but I wouldn't be surprised they go O-lineman to especially if they're gonna stay with Jones. So I don't know.
Craig, who Giants number 6?
Get a rebound. I got the Washington wide receiver. I think Jesus Christ. I think they needed a wide receiver for a long time. They tried it with Tony. Tony didn't work out, obviously. He was just that was just unfortunate.
And he's not working out with the Chiefs.
They tried to get some wide receivers in the free agency. They tried to get Galladay, who was good in Detroit, but he just didn't work out with the Giants. So I think definitely offensive line, they should try to look into that. But they got offensive lineman last year, so I think this year they should try to go after a wide receiver, and I think he's the best wide receiver at this point left. So I would definitely go after the kid from Washington.
Yeah, I have Malik Neighbors. I think all of us agree. I think they need a receiver. Because now some people have a quarterback drafted here. If one of the 3 quarterbacks fall, maybe, but I don't see that. So I see. Now if the Patriots don't draft a quarterback, that quarterback could fall to Atlanta. But at this point, I think they take a receiver. I think this is pretty easy. The Titans, I have Joe Alt. I don't know if there's anybody. Craig, you have any other tackles, receivers for Titans?
No, I got Alt too.
I got all the dude from Penn State. I mean, at that point, at that point, if both receivers are gone, it's too high. Yeah. It's too high to take a receiver. Even though they need a receiver, it'd be too high to take one. At that pick.
Craig, this is probably really easy. Who you have the Falcons getting, Craig?
No, it's not. I think I might get y'all with this.
Let's go.
I'm going quarterback. I'm going Bo Nix, man.
I like that. I
just wrote that down. Listen.
I was thinking either Bo Nix or I was thinking the DN from Alabama, Dallas Turner.
That's what I had.
I think they could. I mean, now they got a defensive coach, but I wouldn't be mad if they took Turner and then try to get a quarterback early in the second round. But I know they got to deal with there's other quarterback needy teams, the Broncos, the Raiders, and then above them again you got the Giants above them in the second round, and some other teams that could possibly snipe them and get Penix or get Nix or whoever. But I don't know. I heard some things about Nix. I think in the Senior Bowl or whatever it is, but I think the Falcons need a quarterback at some point, and this might be a reach. But like I said, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if they or I wouldn't be surprised if they pick Nix or if they pick Turner or the cornerback from Alabama. I can't remember his last name.
Kool-Aid. I think he's nicknamed Kool-Aid or something like that.
Yeah,
some honorable.
I think that's his name.
I went with Bo Nix, man.
All right, Mo, you got the same thing I got, right? Dallas Turner.
Nah, I went Bo Nix.
Oh, you went Bo Nix too? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, only because I heard just the comments I've been hearing from Raheem Morris. They pretty much said they pretty much trying to snipe on the quarterback. He pretty much said it without saying it. They don't believe in Heineke or or
They're in a good position. They're in a good position.
So they pretty much said it. They want to go quarterback. I mean, eight is kind of high for Knicks or McCartney, especially or
Penix.
But you don't want to trade down. You don't want to trade down and run that risk. So I think even though it's a reach, I think they're gonna do it. I was
thinking about quarterback. I was thinking about Penix. I like Penix more than Bo Nix, but so I watched the Senior Bowl. Bo Nix had in the Senior Bowl practices, Michael Penix had the best. His arm talent is crazy. It's out of this world, and he had the best practice. Bo Nix started. He started really not bad, but it wasn't up to it. And then by the end of the week, he was doing phenomenal. He corrected some issues. He was practicing. He got used to it. So that's good to see. They're both their draft stocks rise. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see Bo Nix or Michael Penix right here at 8. Mo, the Bears. Who do you have? Number 9.
I think they go with the edge rusher out of Alabama. I think they go down Turner there. I think they sit there and they go with their quarterback, and then they help out their defense and go edge rusher. Now, if the O lineman from Penn State ends up dropping there, it does bring up an interesting conversation because, like, okay, you get the rookie quarterback now. There's something on the O line, but I think for you to help both sides, I think they'll go quarterback and they go edge rusher.
Craig, who do you have at number 9?
I have the offensive tackle from Penn State. I just think they need to protect. If they get Caleb in the first round, they need to pick somebody that's going to protect or help protect at least his back. And I mean, I can see if somebody drops or if Bowers goes early and the wide receivers there, I could possibly see wide receiver too. But they definitely surround Caleb with some weapons besides DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. But I think about offensive tackles here, I think you got to go offensive tackle just because that offensive line. I mean, they gave up 50 sacks last year, which wasn't the worst, but I mean, you got a young quarterback. You don't want him to get his block knocked off like Bryce Young did this past season, or the kid from North Carolina from Commanders, Sam Howell.
Yeah.
So I would go offensive line. But I don't know how to say his name, but I know he's from Penn State.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name either.
I forgot. Yeah, to say his name. I got a receiver because I had Brock Bowers. I got Roman Adulze.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna get a receiver to pair with DJ Moore and help out Caleb Williams. Or I can see defense here. They got a good pick. They can either get they're in a good spot, or they can trade down if there's a good enticing offer. But they have a good spot. So like think about it. If Atlanta drafts a quarterback, they might be able to trade with Denver to get, you know what I'm saying? Because they're like, well, wait a minute. You know, I mean the Jets aren't drafting a QB, but if you're the Raiders and you're like, hey, we can move to number 9, so but I got him with the receiver. And we probably all agree on the last one. It's probably different players. Okay, so wait.
Wait a minute.
The Jets, number 10.
It depends.
I got two people, but I mean, because I think they could go either way. Because I didn't have I didn't have Bowers going to my early, so
you would do with Bowers.
My number 1 pick, I guess, or my 1A, I guess, would be an offensive tackle. The kid from
Oregon. What I have.
The kid from Oregon State. I don't know how to say his name either.
That's exactly Fuga.
Yeah, him.
He balled the Senior Bowl too.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got, just because I think they need to protect, because that offensive line was bad.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bowers is still there, they got a decision to make because last year they wanted the offensive tackle and they got sniped by the trade with New England with Pittsburgh, New England, or whatever. They got sniped.
Yeah.
So now this year they got a chance. The offensive tackles, they're pretty deep and they're in the top 10.
They are.
So I think they can get an offensive tackle here. But if Bowers is still there, they're gonna have a decision to make because it's hard to pass up on an offensive weapon like Bowers when you compare him with Garrett Wilson, and obviously with Aaron Rodgers coming back and
it's gonna be interesting.
So, but I would
right. They could wait to round 2 to get a tackle. It is a deep draft.
Brees Hall got him. They could, but I think they go offensive tackle here, and I think Bowers unfortunately slips outside the top 10. But
I can see that. I can see that.
I ain't gonna go far, but I think he'll slip a little bit.
Mo. I can see 3 options here. I can see Bowers if he slides. I can see an offensive lineman, like y'all saying, whatever tackle they feel like they like the most right there. Because I think both tackles are. I believe both tackles will be gone before 10. But if one of them are there before 10, if one is there, you're running that card up. If one of them are there at 10, if you're the Jets, you're running that card up. But keep a close eye. It might be a reach, but I'm gonna have a sneaky pick here. Keep a close eye on maybe a wide receiver. The next best available one will be Keon Coleman from Florida State.
For the Jets?
Yeah. Another receiver to go with. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson. He's 6'4", 215.
Yeah,
I know it's a reach, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's say that.
Man, if Bowers drops, the next team that might get him,
the Saints, to me.
Saints, Jacksonville.
The Raiders took one last year.
Raiders not doing it. Broncos not doing it.
The Broncos might, but I think they have a tight end, but I don't know what they're doing with the whole. I think they can use.
I don't know what they're doing.
They need a quarterback at this point. So if a quarterback is available, McCarthy or Penix, they might go that way. That's what I'm thinking. And then Bowers maybe to the Saints because the Saints keep using damn quarterback or whatever he is. He's a hybrid or something. I don't Hill.
Yeah, I think they kept.
Jason Hill. Yeah.
They got to do something. I mean, like he's okay, but he's not like a tight end. I think the Saints could use him. I think the Saints could use him as a tight end.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting draft. This is gonna be an interesting draft. They said that this is a good draft, especially for like skill players.
Seems pretty deep for wide receivers, offensive tackle.
Offensive tackle. Running back is not deep at all.
No, it's not. It's very
deep.
It's shallow.
It's not deep. I think the tackles are deep. Receivers is deep. I think the DBs are deep as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is a good if you need a D tackle, an edge rusher, a wide receiver, or O lineman, it's a good draft. And a quarterback. I think
quarterback too.
Quarterback too. I think this is gonna be a good draft. It's gonna be interesting. All right. The NFL honors are February 8th. And let's talk about it, man. So I'm gonna go the opposite. Actually, no, we're gonna talk about it first. I think this is the easy one. I'm gonna start off. The most valuable player, I think, is Lamar Jackson. I think he's gonna win it. His team was the number 1 seed. They beat all the best teams. This is in the regular season before the playoffs. He was playing phenomenal, and I think Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey are going to take votes away from each other. Dak Prescott didn't play well enough down the stretch. I think Josh Allen numbers aren't as good as Lamar, and it's just I think the history of the MVP is the quarterback that has the best record in the NFL most likely gets it. So I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I'm going Lamar Jackson for MVP. I don't think it's going to be unanimous, but I think it's going to be. I think he's the MVP. Craig, who's your MVP for the 2023 NFL year?
It's Lamar. I mean,
It's Lamar, right?
nobody really separated themselves this year in terms of in terms of quarterbacks, which is it's normally a quarterback award, but nobody really took off with the award until I guess Lamar beat the 49ers. That's kind of what put Lamar over the top for me, and how they destroyed Brock Purdy with I think he had like 4 interceptions or something like that. So yeah, it's Lamar.
It's Lamar. Mo, who you have?
I got Lamar. I mean, just the stats, and then they're winning. They won big games against the best competition. Like if you look at it during the regular season, they not only beat, but they dominated some of the best teams in the league. And you know, even if you look at it, if you take, I mean, now we didn't know the Texans were going to be what they were, but if you take from week 1 on, I think they beat like 7 teams with double digit wins. That's unheard of. So I think it's Lamar. His stats play for itself. I think he's gonna get his second MVP, and just it's gonna be a congratulations, but it's gonna put more pressure on him.
Yeah. All right, Craig, defensive player of the year.
Oh, this is a tough one.
This is I looked at the list and was like, wait a minute. I know some people pick, but who'd you pick?
Who did I think I went with Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson.
Miles Garrett. I'm agreeing with you too. So don't worry about it. I was like, yeah.
I went Miles Garrett. I think Miles Garrett had a great year. That Cleveland defense was statistically the number 1 defense in the NFL. Regardless of what happened with the quarterback situation, which I mean was horrendous, the defense still showed up and showed out. Obviously got to the playoffs for the first time, and I mean for what they had, I thought they were going to go to the playoffs a while ago, but you know they went to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they didn't win the game, but Miles Garrett was a force all season, so I got to go with him.
Mo, who do you have defensive player of the year?
Listen, I don't want to go push here. I don't want to go 1A, 1B. I wouldn't be mad at either one. I'm gonna go TJ Watt, man.
Okay.
And it's just because how bad that offense was all year long almost, and just the pressure it was on that defense. Now I want to say, I think he led the league in sacks or was top 2.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I don't know if he led the league in sacks. He was right there. I think if he wasn't, he was second.
I think he led the league.
I think he had 18.5 or 19.5 or something like that.
Yep. Give me one second. I'm about to tell you right now. Not postseason. He had 19 sacks, sir.
Yeah, it's for what was asked of that defense, man. They picked it up towards the end of the season, but what was asked of that defense for most of that season, and for him that defense keeping in playoff contention, I just think he should get it. I think he should get it. But I'm not mad at anybody else. I'm not mad at Miles Garrett getting it. But I just think for what was asked of him and that defense, I think he should get it. I definitely think he should get it.
I'm with Craig. I think Miles Garrett should get it just because that defense was historic. I wouldn't be mad at TJ Watt either, but I think I would go with Miles Garrett, man. I think Miles Garrett is phenomenal. I think he deserves it too. He's been knocking at the door, and I think this year they're gonna give it to him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that's good. Offensive player of the year. Oh, this is interesting. Offensive Player of the Year. Craig, I think this might surprise you, but I think I'm gonna go Christian McCaffrey. I think he had 21 touchdowns. I think that touchdowns count for 7, and you can't beat it. Now I'm not mad at CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill kind of faded and CeeDee Lamb kind of went up. If Tyreek Hill got 2,000, I would put him in there. But right now, I got Christian McCaffrey's Offensive Player of the Year. 20 touchdowns is a lot. 20 touchdowns is a lot for the Offensive Player of the Year. Craig, who do you have for Offensive Player of the Year? I have Christian McCaffrey.
I have Christian McCaffrey as well. I agree with what you said. You said if Hill had got 2,000 yards receiving, I definitely would have given it to him. He was on pace for 2,000 yards, and then he got hurt later in the season and just didn't play enough games. But and then like you said, CeeDee Lamb started to play amazing down the stretch. But Christian McCaffrey gets my vote. He led the league in rushing. He was up there in rushing touchdowns. Yeah, I think. I mean, he's like a every down back. He can catch out the backfield. He's one of the best, if not the best, offensive back. Saquon Barkley called him the best running back in football this morning, or was it yesterday? No, I think it was yesterday morning when I watched Get Up, or First Take, one of the two. He called him the best back in football. So I think he had a great season this year, and obviously the 49ers number 1 seed. So I gotta go McCaffrey.
Mo, who's the Offensive Player of the Year?
We're
down the wrong pipe.
I'm gonna go McCaffrey only because Hill kind of, I don't want to use the term struggle, but he kind of, injuries and everything, he kind of limped down the stretch. If he had gotten 2,000, I would have easily said Hill. But I'm gonna go McCaffrey, just what he did, rushing the ball, out of the backfield, catching the ball. Yeah, I'm gonna go McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Year.
Craig, this is not an easy one. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I'm going CJ Stroud. To me, it's easy. It's not. I mean, it's between Stroud and Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
I mean, he broke all types of rookie receiving records, and he was having up until, I mean, even still when Cooper Kupp came back, he was having a great season. I think he would have had an even better season if Kupp didn't play the whole season. But CJ Stroud did, taking a team move. Personally, I thought it was going to win like maybe 3-4 games at the most. I thought he was in a worse situation than Bryce Young, and he ended up taking the team to the playoffs and then winning the game in the playoffs. So, and with a rookie coach, him being a rookie himself, some guys around him, even like his number 1 wide receiver or one of his best wide receivers went down for the season. I just didn't believe in Houston at all and the way that he played. So I got to go with Stroud.
All right, Mo. I agree. I go with Stroud. When you draft quarterback, normally you draft quarterback that high on a bad team. And for him to come in, the man, kind of gain the trust of his teammates, and then to rally behind him like that, and for them to win the division first year like that, I think he definitely deserves Offensive Player of the Year. It ain't like, he had just regular numbers and people bailed him out. He had numbers we ain't seen at the rookie quarterback position in a long time. Yeah. So I think he deserved it.
Yeah, I'm going with CJ Stroud. I think he came in, changed the franchise around. I remember people didn't like him, which is crazy. I think me and Craig were both pretty high on him. and we proved to be right. And I think it's C.J. Stroud. Mo, rookie defensive player of the year.
I'm gonna go Will Anderson. I think he had 8 sacks. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Made a lot of impact plays. I'm gonna go Will Anderson.
Craig, defensive rookie of the year.
It's tough between obviously Carter and Anderson. To me, are the top two, but I'm leaning slightly towards Anderson. I just think the way his team played, because I didn't think the defense was going to be anything, and I mean he made the defense, or helped make the defense better than what I thought they were going to be. He had like most, I think he had like 7 or 8 sacks or something like that, and I just think he was on the field a little bit more than Carter was. But Carter was in a better situation. Well, looking back at it at the time, he was in a better situation, but it turned out kind of be the opposite, I guess, towards the end of the season, how they ended up being. But I'm going Will Anderson.
Yeah, I'm going Will Anderson. I think he set the franchise record for sacks. I think he came in. I think, and a lot of people say, "Oh man, they drafted him high." I think Will Anderson is one of those players who's going to probably get like 12, 13 sacks a year. It's just going to be like, God, man, he played for 13 years and averaged 10 sacks a year. He's just a pro's pro. That's what I think he is, and that's valuable. You know what, Mo? I think he's a better. Golly, hold on, wait. It's on the tip of my tongue. Mo, what was our defensive end name we drafted 2011?
Chase Young?
What's his name? Hold on, I'm about to tell you right now.
Kerrigan?
Ryan Kerrigan. He's a more athletic Ryan Kerrigan. People be like, "Oh, Ryan Kerrigan was drafted high, but he almost has 100 sacks." Like that's what you want out of a number 1 pick. Doesn't miss games. I think he's going to bring his lunch pail to work. All right, for offensive, we said C.J. Stroud. We said defense. Comeback player of the year. I think this is an easy one. I think for all of us. I think it's Damar Hamlin. Does anybody have anything different? I don't. Mo, do you have anything different? You got Damar Hamlin?
Comeback
player of the year? Yeah, I got Damar Hamlin. All right, Mo, let me ask you this. Coach of the year. Because it's I think it's between 3 people on here. I think it's between 3 people. I think it's between 3 people. I get John Harbaugh. I get John Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan, but I don't think they're going to win it. So I think it's between 3 people.
So let me say this. I know it's going to sound wild, but not wild to people. But I'm going to go Stefanski. And from Cleveland. I'm going to tell you why. I get the stuff that happened in Houston. I get it. You win that division. Nobody thought you would win it. I get rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, and I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I wouldn't argue it, dispute it at all. But to win in a league where you end up going to your 4th quarterback who wasn't on the roster, who pretty much gave up on football, and you call him off the street. Like Flacco wasn't thinking about football. Flacco was chilling. They called him off the street. And to lose, I think the cap space of the players they lost in during injury was like $100 million against the cap, or almost 200 against the cap. And you still win 11 games. That's unheard of. They lost. I think Nick Chubb was, when Nick Chubb got hurt, I think Nick Chubb was like top three in rushing.
Yes, he was.
You lose I think the tackle they lost, he won the top 10 tackles in this league. The people they lost has just been ridiculous, and they still won 11 games. So I just think he deserves coach of the year to me.
Craig, your coach of the year.
I have D'Amico Ryans. I think Stefanski did a phenomenal job, like Mo said, with all the quarterbacks. Then quarterbacks not performing well, and then he ended up going with Flacco, and they ended up winning 11 games, going to the playoffs and everything like that. But winning the division, like I said, I thought the Browns would win like 8 or 9 games, but I thought the Texans would win like 3 or 4 games, and to win the division and win a playoff. And not only that, but the team that, or the coach that he's going up against for the award, they beat him. Now I get it; they didn't have Deshaun Watson, they didn't have Nick Chubb or whatever it is, but they had the number 1 defense. They had. I mean, Flacco was balling. Even though he was throwing picks, he was still putting up a bunch of yards with a bunch of touchdowns. And I just think that the way that the Texans just dominated them, I mean, I can't ignore that. If they didn't play each other, it would be more of a toss up, or I could lean one way or the other, or whatever it is. But I got it. I mean, they met up head to head, and the Texans won. So I'm going Ryans.
I'm going Dan Campbell, man. I'm going Dan Campbell and the Lions. I think that the way, building upon last year and the way that he talks, the way he had the Lions playing, and then at the press conference, I know people didn't like it. I loved it. I love honesty like that. Like, hey, listen, we might not be back next year. It's going to be 10 times harder. I like that. I think that because he had the Lions in that position and playing well, and he's charismatic, I think he's going to get coach of the year. I like D'Amico Ryans bringing a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback dominating the Browns is phenomenal. And, of course, Kevin Stefanski. This will be his second one. That's how good of a coach he is. I think that's it. I don't think we're going to do the assistant. I mean, the assistant coaches. I mean, I would probably go with Mike McDonald, probably. Or Jim Shorts, I think. I don't, I didn't put too much stock. I'm going to be honest, guys. Craig, I didn't put too much stock in the AP Assistant Coach of the Year. I'm gonna be honest. Anybody else? I mean, if I had a vote, I would probably pick Mike McDonald, I guess. I don't even know why I put it on there. All right. Anyway, this is going to be quick and easy and to the short. Is it time to press the panic button? And no, this is where I just throw some things out there. Sometimes they might panic, sometimes not. But we're going to talk about the Lakers. I don't know what they're going to do with the trade deadline. They said they're not doing nothing. It sucks because you got LeBron James still playing good level basketball, Anthony Davis. I thought this roster would be totally different, and it wasn't. So panic time. It sucks. I don't know what the front office is going to do, but it doesn't look like we're in a good spot. So it's panic time. Hit the panic button. Warriors come out to play. Guess what? They're not willing to. If they're not active at the trade deadline, they're wasting Steph's prime, and it sucks because this happens to franchises. I was a Lakers fan. 2000 we were good. San Antonio was good in 2000. Boston. Now Boston is back now, but they were bad. Tatum and Jaylen Brown are high picks. So it happens. I just hope the Warriors make a trade to do something better. Bears, you have the number 1 pick. Pick Caleb. That's it. Nothing else. Because if you don't and stick with Justin Fields, and then you trade Caleb to the Commanders and they go to the play, and it's another CJ Stroud situation, at that point in time, you need to sell the team. Because you're negligent. Don't. It's not a hard choice. It's easy. Y'all in a good spot, so nah. And the Commanders, same thing. Y'all in a good spot. Number 2, get the pick right. Get it right. Do your diligence. Get it right. Break down the film. Get it right. Okay? Craig, top 5. All right. It is Super Bowl week, guys. All right, so now we are to
I got my top 5, but
oh yeah,
it's very disappointing because they just lost, so it's pissing me off.
oh, I was like, wait a minute, you got. I was like, all right.
Oh, stupid.
I thought you were gonna do top 5. You probably gonna do some Super Bowl stuff.
Nah, next week I'm gonna do Super Bowl. This week I did my top 5 Carolina Duke games just because he just played.
Ooh, good.
I mean, well, Duke just lost, so I was happy until about 5 minutes ago when I got the thing on my phone. Carolina sucks, man. All right, they suck, man. They pissed me off. God damn. So I got a honorable mention, which is going to be Roy Williams' last game, which didn't know it was going to be his last game, but they ended up winning against Duke. They ended up winning by 18. So my number 5 is in 2005. This was senior night. Number 2 Duke. Number 2 Carolina hosting number 6 Duke, and Carolina for the first time since '93 at the time. So it was 12 years in between the last time they won an outright ACC championship, which Duke had the lead 73-64 with 3 minutes left, and then Carolina stormed back, outscoring them 11-0 over the next 3 minutes. Marvin Harrison had a N1 with 17 seconds left and put Carolina up by 2. Duke had 2 chances to tie, and they missed both, and Carolina ended up winning the game. My number 4 is from 95. This is when Carolina had Stackhouse and Rasheed Wallace, and they were number 2 in the nation, and ended up going to Duke. And Coach K was – this is when Duke wasn't good because Coach K had missed a lot of games because of his he had back surgery. So Duke wasn't good at all, but they hung with Carolina. They were down early by double digits, came back. Jeff Capel hit a buzzer beater from almost half court, kind of in between the 3-point line and half court, that sent the game to double overtime. Okay. Carolina ended up winning the game though by 102-100 in double overtime. So that was and Rasheed Wallace had fouled out in the end of the second half, but Carolina still hold on by 2. My number 3 is something I personally, because I hated JJ Redick in college. And it was senior night for JJ Redick. He started out the game hot, 4 for 5, and ended the game off totally 5 for 21 from the field. So only made 1 more shot the rest of the game. Tyler Hansbrough was a freshman in this game. He finished his career he was 4-0 at Duke for his career, and this was just his first one. He had 27 and 10. And Carolina, who was ranked number 15 against number 1 Duke at the time, and Carolina won 83-76. My number 2, obviously, is Coach K's final home game. Carolina wasn't ranked at all. This was Hubert Davis' second season. And Coach K, they had everybody there. They had 100 former Duke players. They had Adam Silver, Jerry Seinfeld was there. Kim, I think, was there. So they had a bunch of celebrities in the crowd for Coach K's last home game, and ended up being an easy win for Carolina, 94-81. Duke was ranked number 4. Carolina ended up with 4 players had 20 plus points, including Baycock, who had 23. He only missed 1 shot. And obviously, my number one is in that same season. Just less than a month later, the same two teams met in the Final Four. Carolina was an 8 seed. Duke was a 2 seed. First time ever meeting in the Final Four, or first time ever meeting in the tournament in general. Just so happened to be in the Final Four, and just so happened to be Coach K's last game forever. A great game back and forth. Caleb Love hit a big three late in the game with like 25 seconds left to put Carolina up by 4, and he ended up winning the game 81-77 and going to the national championship game. So the last two games they beat Coach K twice, which was big. Doesn't get any better than that if you're a Carolina fan. So over Duke's head if you want it, but it's just a great rivalry. So
JJ Redick talks about that.
I hate
like, they ruined it. They ruined because that's when all the former Duke players came out, right? For Coach K's last.
Yeah. He had told before the season or he had told before the season or during the season. They might have been before the season. This was his last season, so it kind of became that like every game was like a send off type thing, like Kobe when he announced it. But his last home game, he ended up just getting. It was great. It was great.
All right. All right. So this is the Who You Got. My favorite. This is the last one of the season. Super Bowl edition. Let's go. So we're gonna do this one different. Normally we go down like head coach, offense, defense, but we're gonna take it like we're gonna do it one at a time, right? Oh, and for offensive coordinator, Shanahan and Andy Reid called offensive plays. So we're just gonna go head coach. So I'm gonna say the head coach, Craig, Mo. Then we're gonna go who's the defensive corner, and then we're gonna go quarterback, which we all know. Run it. We just gonna go it by like side by side instead of doing it one up. Y'all get it. All right. I'm gonna start off. Head coach. I have Andy Reid. I know it's stuff for retirement. So last time I don't think he retires. I think that he's 65. I think that he knows he could to be honest with you, he could. They might be. I mean, if he coaches another 10 years, man, or at least 8 years, they already got 2. He might be pushed for Belichick with the wins, the playoff wins. You know, that stuff matters to people, man. He might go down as one of the greatest coaches ever. And you give him 2 weeks, he's just phenomenal. The players love him. I've never heard a player say they didn't like Andy Reid. All his former players said they love him. So I like Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's phenomenal. He's just not as good as Andy Reid. So head coach, I got Andy Reid. Craig, head coach, who you got?
I have Andy Reid as well. Obviously the longevity and the over the career, but just this season, just the things that the Chiefs had to deal with. I know their defense was great, but Andy Reid's an offensive guy, and the offense has just been, at least in the regular season, it wasn't up to par. It wasn't up to the Chiefs standards what they've been doing the last couple of years. I don't know if that's because Eric Bieniemy wasn't there and he wasn't there to help hold people accountable, or because I mean it's pretty much the same type of receivers and they're calling pretty much the same type of plays, but they just had a lot of drops this year. They led the league in drops. So to have that, and then you go into the playoffs, have your first road game, I guess. Besides the game that was in Tampa, but the first road game for them, and they ended up winning 2 of them when nobody really gave them a chance, including myself, who even though I picked the Chiefs at the beginning of the season, I kind of turned on them because of the drops. That was the only thing that was really stopping me from sticking with them. But I mean, Andy Reid did such a phenomenal job this year, so I got to go with Reid. No, it's no hit against Shanahan. Shanahan has done a phenomenal job, but I think Reid.
Yeah.
But just what he had to deal with.
Yeah. Mo, head coach, who you got? Andy Reid or Kyle Shanahan?
I'm gonna go Andy. Same reasons y'all said what he dealt with. I'm saying this because I dropped the ball 3 straight weeks. I had them losing. I picked them. I picked against them against Miami. I was wrong. Picked against them against Buffalo. Wrong. Picked against them against Baltimore. Wrong. So, they just defy the odds. To now go on the road 2 times in a row for the first time since Mahomes been drafted. They went on the road and won 2 road games. It's a run. It's a run that we haven't seen since New England. And I like some of the things they're saying that like it's 2 different squads, 2 different situations. So they're not trying to compare the 2. So yeah, I'm gonna go Andy. And like Craig said, like you said, there's no slight to Shanahan and what they've done, but it's just the body of work. It's more the body of work overall.
All right, Craig, defensive coordinator. What you got?
You know what? This is tough because both. You know what? It's like the 49ers had like their regular season, they were a great defensive team, and then all of a sudden you get to the playoffs, and some of that magic has fallen off because they can't stop the run. It's tough. I think I'm gonna go with Spagnuolo just because of how they shut down Lamar, and nobody really shut down Lamar like that. I think he did a great job. And they held them under 100 yards as a team, which was something that the Ravens haven't had done to them since I think the first game of not this past season, but the first game of last season in the regular season. So, I think he has obviously a really good defense, which this is probably the best defense Patrick Mahomes has had since he's been there. And he doesn't have nearly as many super like stars, I guess, as the 49ers do. 49ers have like household name stars. Jones is the only star that I can like household name star. I think Snead kind of put himself in there with some of the things that he was able to do, especially against the Ravens with punching the ball out and against Zay Flowers and things like that, and him traveling with the receiver. But Jones is clearly and without Jones, with him holding out and trying to figure out if he's going to sign to a contract and all that, I'm glad they got it done because look at the defense. It's amazing. So I'm going with Steve Spagnuolo.
Mo, defensive coordinator, who you got?
I'm gonna go Spags. Steve Wilkes has done a great job. I think it was a midway point in the season where a lot of things were going on. They had him come down from the booth to the field, but
that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. But
that was weird.
Yeah, Spags, he's done a phenomenal job. Like Craig said, you only got Jones. Outside of Jones, I think everyone else in that defense is less than 3 years pro. They took a corner in McDuffie that they drafted in the first round out of Washington, I think 2 years ago. And he made all pro this year. So it just shows the coaching up and how they run their system. So, and I like Craig said, outside of Chris Jones, who are you really naming on that defense? Like they got a bunch of dudes who are hungry, who want to play ball. So I would go with Spags.
Yeah, I got Spags easy. Nothing wrong with 49ers. I think Wilkes did a good job. They were kind of in the playoffs. It was 2 different defenses. And NFL, you got to update your resume. Kansas City stopped Buffalo defense. They stopped the Ravens. Those were 2 of the hottest offenses in football. Plus, on San Francisco side, they struggled against the Packers, who we thought were going to beat them, and they struggled against the Lions. While the Kansas City Chiefs played the number 2 seed and the number 1 seed, and they were the hottest teams in football. And the Kansas City shut them down. I got to go with Spags, man. The players love him, and he ain't going anywhere. And the crazy thing is, he's probably not going to get another head coaching opportunity. He probably not. He's not. He's in KC. So Andy Reid got his defensive coordinator locked up for decades. I'm telling you, I think this is the beginning of their run. Okay, we're gonna skip this one because we all know the answer to who's the best quarterback.
Horrible.
We know the answer to that one.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't even need to discuss that. Yeah, I mean, it's I like Purdy. I do. I like Purdy. Got a great story, but it's just that guy right here.
I will say, I think Purdy had a better. I think Purdy had a better season this year, though.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes, but
but Patrick Mahomes is he wins this one. Good God. Good God Almighty.
The generational.
Yeah, 3 before 30. Like that's crazy. It's 3
before 30. He's never
some people
played.
He got 3 before 30. That's crazy.
3 before 30, and he's never played less than the AFC. His ceiling is his lowest ceiling is the AFC Championship game. That's crazy. That's like if the Chiefs come back next year, I'm going to pick them in the AFC Championship game.
But satisfied
is just how you have to. You have to.
The moment they don't make it, everybody will chastise them like, "Oh, it's the end of the dynasty." It's the end of the like, yeah.
Oh, look, probably.
Runs like,
Oh no, this seems like a dynasty to me right now. They win this one.
Oh,
yeah, they win. They have to win. They have to win.
So they gotta win. They're not. Okay.
I think they win the third one. If they win the third one, they would be compared to the Patriots.
Some people are calling.
You had them there back to back. Yeah, then first time going back to back.
They will be. They're comparable to the Patriots and their runs.
Some people are calling them a dynasty already, but I don't know. Some people are. I think they need to. I think they need to win this one. Okay. We know the easy. We know the easy one. The running backs are easy. Unless somebody picks, I'm picking McCaffrey. I think we all agree with that one, right? Is somebody gonna pick? I do agree, but I think Pacheco is playing. He's
like that. He's like that.
Yeah, Pacheco ball. Yeah,
Pacheco is like a lot of teams supposed to have. He runs really hard. He's tough. But I just think Christian McCaffrey is. Craig knows this. I've loved Christian McCaffrey since Stanford. I loved him when Carolina drafted him. I think I love Chris McCaffrey. I think he's a beast.
I didn't like him at all. Because
he did not like the pick.
I wish they had drafted Fournette at the time, and they looking back at it.
I told Craig, I was like, no, this dude is it. Craig was like, nah. I was like, no. I was like, he's gonna be like that.
Yeah.
He liked it. He liked that.
Yeah.
I think he's building a Hall of Fame resume at this point.
Oh, definitely.
I think he's built. If he running backs, he's so funny. If he could do this for another couple years,
at least 3. If he can put it another
3 years, I think so. Yeah,
I
think 3 years. Yeah. Okay. O-line. Who has a better O-line?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Okay.
I think outside of obviously Trent Williams is arguably the best left tackle in football, one of the best left tackles of all time. But outside of Trent Williams, I think the offensive line for the 49ers is kind of sketchy. It's kind of shaky. It's kind of shaky. So I'm not sure. I think the Chiefs 2 outside tackles, they didn't have a good enough. They didn't have as good of a year this year as they did last year. But the inside line, the center and the guard, I think those are where the strength is in that Chiefs offensive line. And the 49ers just, I mean, even though, like I said, they have a really good left tackle, outside of that, I mean, it's just kind of hit or miss. So to me, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Mo, online.
I'm gonna go Chiefs. Overall, I love their center. The guards inside. You got Trent, but I just think overall, Kansas City has just done an amazing job of keeping Mahomes up front, keeping Mahomes up right. So I'm gonna definitely go Kansas City.
I'm gonna go Kansas City too. I think the O-line is protecting Mahomes all year, and they did phenomenal against Baltimore. They did with Joe Tooney out. Yo,
yeah.
because we saw what Baltimore did to San Francisco O-line.
Yeah,
but I think the Chiefs O-line are better. I agree with Craig. Trent Williams. I think he's like the only best O-line. I think this next one is pretty easy. Wide receivers and tight ends. I think everybody's going to pick San Francisco because Travis Kelce's first of all, Travis Kelce is, for a tight end to break Jerry Rice's reception record in the playoffs is crazy. But unfortunately, and I like Rasheed Rice, but I'm going to pick, I think everybody's going to pick San Francisco when you got Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk. I can't pick against that.
I will give the Chiefs credit though. They played a lot better than they did in the regular season, but it's just not even close. It's like the running.
It's not close.
It's way farther apart than the running backs are, just because Pacheco's playing a lot better. But the receivers for the Chiefs, man,
terrible.
They need to do something in the offseason. This past offseason, but they didn't.
Yeah. I do like Rasheed Rice though. I like that pick. I think he can grow into something, but that's it. You're gonna have to do something this offseason. And I think Mo, you agree, San Francisco receivers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, D line. Great.
I'm going Niners. Like I said earlier when we were talking about the coach and everything like that, or what we were talking about with Chris Jones. Or we did with the D coordinators. It's just Jones. It's just Jones on that defensive line. They got some other players, but for the most part, it's Chris Jones. But even before adding Chase Young, who's been okay, he's been able to make some plays here and there. They already had Bosa, Hargrave, and Armstead. So then you add in a Chase Young who doesn't have to be, even though he's the number 2 pick, he doesn't have to live up to that expectation in this type of defense because there's so many other key players or other or better players. The 49ers defensive line is ridiculous. The issue I have is they've been getting beat up and they can't stop the run. So the running backs are getting past them, getting past the linebackers and getting to the secondary. So they got to figure that out. But I'm going San Francisco.
Mo, for the defensive line, you got Kansas City Chiefs or San Francisco?
I got San Francisco. Bosa, even with Young being up and down, you got Bosa, Armstead, Randy Gregory, Kinlaw. Kinlaw, man, was just 3 years removed. I think that was the draft during COVID. He was in the top 12. It was
a COVID draft.
Yeah, they throw a lot of pieces at you. So I'm gonna go San Francisco, definitely D-line.
I'm going Kansas City D-line. I think Chris Jones is phenomenal. And you're right. He might be, but I think that George Kalafis, and Neil Farrell, I think they've been doing good because this defense is is something else. And that defensive line, the way they stopped Baltimore, I think they're at a different level, man. I think this defense is great. I kind of got the D line for Kansas City. The linebackers, Craig.
I'm going San Francisco.
Yeah.
Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw are household names. I think the Chiefs have some. They have some players there, but they're not like stars. They're not guys that stand out. I like Bolton. They got Willie Gay. Tranquil.
Yeah.
So they have some guys there, but I mean overall they're just not on the same level to me as Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw. So I'm going 49ers.
Mo, you going 49ers too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You go Greenlaw and Warner, two dudes who made All Pro. I think Warner's made All Pro 3 straight years.
Yeah,
it's just been that linebacker core is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm going San Francisco. Listen, man, Fred Warner's he's making his way. San Francisco always gets good linebackers. They always do. They always do, man, and I love it. I love the linebackers. I think they have the edge. And Mo, do you remember Nick Bolton, right?
Yeah.
You know Nick Bolton I wanted to draft instead of Jamin Davis. That's neither here or there, though.
That's another reason I'm hoping Dan can do something. But we'll go there another day.
We'll go. We super high for him, and we could have got Nick Bolton in the second round. That's neither here nor there. Let me just. It's in the past. Anyway, the last one, and then we're gonna go to the scores. This might be a sweep across the board, but for DBs, I'm going Kansas City. They got 2 All Pros, man. The DB's gonna shut you down. McDuffie and Snead are vicious.
Yeah,
they're on a different level, man. They're on a different level, man. And they're all young. The defense is young. This is crazy. This is insane. But I think the corners they're gonna play a lot of press coverage, and it's gonna be very interesting to see how San Francisco combats that. DBs, Craig, who you got?
I got the Chiefs too. I like McDuffie and I like Snead. Snead's a really good corner. You see what he did against the Ravens, especially with punching the ball out. That was a key play because Ravens could have scored, and that game could have been totally different if they score right there.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that I don't know how to say his name for San Francisco, the safety. He's out for the season.
Mufunga.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes.
That's unfortunate because I mean he's an all-pro safety. Then you got but also coincidentally the Chiefs lost one of their top safeties, Brian Cook, throughout the season, back in like week 12 or 13 or something like that. So they have they both have key injuries at the safety position, but the corners, even though Ward, who's a former Chief, now 49er, he has probably some get back, I guess, or he wants some revenge against his team. But overall, I'm going with the Chiefs corners. I mean, the Chiefs secondary.
Mo, DBs, who you got? I'm going Chiefs. I'm definitely going Chiefs. Outside of the game, I'm saying overall in the second half, especially I think early on when Cleveland came back and Baltimore beat them, I've never seen a team DBs tackle Baltimore and handle Baltimore's speed like that. Like,
crucial.
Just watching that game, just how they dealt with Baltimore speed consistently and made plays was just unreal. Like anytime Baltimore did short throws, whether it was the Andrews, likely, whatever they did, even if it was intermediate throws, like Kansas City was right there tackling. I'm talking about great technique, perfect tackling. Like it was just amazing to see it, and the coverage was real. So I'm gonna go Kansas City.
All right, Craig. I want you to say the outcome of the game, the score, and who do you think is going to be the who do you think is going to win in the final score?
All right, so this is gonna be. I think this is gonna be a really good game. It's two really good teams playing each other. Obviously, it's a rematch from 4 years ago. Some players were on that 49ers team are still on this 49ers team right now, so it's possible that they clearly want some revenge. But no, the main key position, which is quarterback, he wasn't there before. It was just his second year. Could have been there last season, but ended up getting hurt against the Eagles. I think this. I mean, for some reason the Chiefs are underdogs again, which I get it. I think the 49ers have a better overall team, but I gotta go with the Chiefs, man. I picked them before the season started to win it. I went against them in the playoffs twice, but at this point in time, I gotta go back to the team I originally picked to win the whole thing. So I'm picking the Chiefs. I just think they have. I think their receivers, as long as their receivers can continue to make plays, continue to catch the ball, put pressure on Brock Purdy, make him feel uncomfortable, get him out of his game plan that he wants to do, or whatever the game plan that the 49ers want to do. And the 49ers are very efficient on third down. I think they've converted 16 of 28 third downs in the playoffs, and they're 5 for 6 in the red zone. So if they can stop them from being efficient on third downs, which they did against the Ravens and against the Dolphins, I think the Bills were like 50%, but they really held the Ravens and the Dolphins down. If they can do that and stop them from getting in the red zone and scoring, especially touchdowns, I got the Chiefs, man. Let me get the Chiefs 33-27.
Ooh, okay. That seems like, I'm gonna love. That seems like a high school game. Mo,
It probably won't be, but
Mo, who do you think is gonna win the Super Bowl? Your final prediction. This is it.
Let me say this. I've gone back and forth on this for a minute. Since this name is Super Bowl, I've been going back and forth for a minute. And I'm a believer of, if I'm going to put pressure on you, and I'm gonna say your kind of your reputation, kind of who you are as a coach, your legacy's on the line. I think there's players on San Francisco team who were there 4 years ago. I think Shanahan's going to coach a little bit differently. Mind you, they were up 10 in the fourth quarter when they lost 4 years ago. I think I hate to go against this man four times straight, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go San Francisco, man, in a classic. I'm gonna go San Francisco 27-24.
Mo,
I get it.
you're with America. You keep picking San Francisco.
It's not even about America. It's not even about America, man. It's me thinking Shanahan won't do this two times in 4 years, man.
Gotta respect.
Okay. All right, I do. And when we come back next Tuesday, you're gonna be like, I ain't picking against Mahomes again, man. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I picked them to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. I don't know why I picked them to lose to the Ravens. I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes again. So I just think I think Andy Reid, like, you gave Patrick Mahomes a defense, and I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Andy Reid has kind of gotten very selective on who the receivers are, and Patrick Mahomes is playing not to lose the game and becoming a game manager in the second half of games, because the defense is only allowed in 3 playoff games, 3 to Baltimore, I believe 3 to Buffalo, and 0 to Miami, maybe 0 to Buffalo, but their second half defense. Patrick Mahomes is playing not to lose the game. His playoff numbers are crazy. He hasn't thrown an interception in 6 playoff games. 6. So, like I said, he's one of those players like Jordan and Shaq and LeBron, where you get into these playoffs and they raise their level. That when you raise your level in the playoffs, or even maintain it, because like Tim Duncan, Kobe, they maintain their scoring average. That's hard to do in the playoffs because a lot of people drop when those lights get on. Patrick Mahomes don't. Purdy might. Them lights might get hard for Purdy, man. And I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes again. I said they were going to go back to back. And they are. I think this is going to be a low-scoring Super Bowl. I think it's going to be 20. I think it's going to be 27-20. I think the Chiefs' defense. I think the first half is going to be a good game. I think the Chiefs going with the lead, and I don't think the San Francisco 49ers score in the second half.
No.
I think it's going to be 17-20. And then the Chiefs are going to score 7, and San Francisco's going to score 3. It's going to be 27-3. 27-20. And Mo's going to be on the text message like, I was wrong again.
Hey, 4 straight.
Also, side note, I don't know if Mo, you know this, but every NFL coach that has coached against a coach that he lost against has lost. Tom Landry lost to Chuck Noll twice. Jimmy Johnson beat Marvin Lee twice. Tom Coughlin beat Belichick twice. And Andy Reid's going to beat Kyle Shanahan twice. And this will be a dynasty, and I don't know where I'm going to go from here. Because if don't let the Chiefs get Stephon Diggs or DeAndre Hopkins, they might try to get 3.
Or Mike Evans.
Or Mike Evans. They might try to get 3. They might. I don't know. I'm not saying they can win 3 Super Bowls in a row, but I'm not saying they not. I don't know. They're gonna be in the AFC Championship game. We know that. And Mahomes wins on the road, so that's. I don't know. I like if somebody said if somebody told me the Chiefs are going to win back to back to back. So if the Chiefs win, and somebody says I think the Chiefs are going to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, it's never been done. I'm not. That's not far fetched. I'm not gonna be like, no, that's crazy. I'm just gonna be like, I might pick him. I don't know.
They put the money up, but I might be.
I don't know, bro. This is vicious. I don't think we ever seen a quarter. I've never seen a quarterback play this well.
I know.
I mean,
his records are crazy. He's gonna shatter the records, man. I think he's gonna be like. I think he's gonna be like. Somebody said this earlier, and I think so. You know how Bill Russell has like more rings than Jordan. I don't know. I don't know, man. If Patrick Mahomes ends up going to like 8 Super Bowls and wins 6, it's gonna be tough.
I mean, you on pace to break the record. You got to think. What do you mean? This is 4th or 5th Super Bowl made?
This is 4th Super Bowl, bruh.
And he going for 3rd. He try to go for 3rd and 4 out of 4 times. Lord mercy.
Yeah.
Only thing about Mo is that he has 4 picks in the Super Bowl, but he only has 3 in the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So his picks in the Super Bowl, it's only been 3 games. But he didn't throw one last Super Bowl.
It was that Tampa joint. At Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 that game. I think he had 2 in the San Francisco in the first game.
Yeah.
He had 2 touchdowns and 4 picks, and then he had 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl last year. But it's Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to bet.
I've never seen nothing like this. I'm glad I'm alive to see this. Because I've never seen. I thought Tom Brady was crazy. This is insane.
Yeah, definitely.
This is insane. Mo, you said he has a chance to have 3 Super Bowls before he's 30. That's crazy.
That's what Tom Brady had.
I'm trying to think. It was another quarterback.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was another quarterback who did.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady did it.
But remember, Tom Brady.
He won it in his first year.
It was the defense that kind of won the first couple ones. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady was better when he was older. I think that's when he really started dominating.
So I mean, and then it's Mahomes, was also Andy Reid. Like, where do we play Andy if he wins another? This would be what, Andy's third? And he
it'll be his third.
He's second behind Belichick, but if him and Mahomes get a couple more, if they mess around and get 6 each, that conversation is gonna be.
Oh, go to peace. Yeah, both of them go.
Yeah, that conversation is gonna be. That's gonna be a serious conversation.
Right now, do we put Andy in top 5 regardless, win lose?
Yes, yeah. I think he's a top 5 NFL coach. I don't think he's the greatest. I think Andy Reid's a top 5.
Right.
I think
he's all time. He's all time.
Yeah, all time. Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
I think winning those 2 Super Bowls put him in that conversation because people forget he used to kill us in Philly, bro.
Oh man,
he was the only team that won the division 4 straight times.
Yeah.
He went to the NFC Championship. Yeah, he made Donovan McNabb look good.
He resurrected Michael Vick career. He made the NFC Championship game 5 straight years. Like, I don't think we never will see that again. Who goes to 2 different franchises? Who goes to 2 different franchises and goes to 4 straight NFC championships? Like,
I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't think he's the greatest coach. I think him and Mahomes have to do more. But I think we're witnessing greatness right now. I think we're witnessing greatness, man. So, all right, guys. I'm gonna see you next week. Enjoy the Super Bowl, guys. Oh, shout out to Kobe. The statue unveiling is February 8th at 3 p.m. Tune in. I can't wait. I don't know what it is. I can't wait. I don't know if it's gonna be him doing this iconic fadeaway, him with his daughter. You know, I don't know. So it's just awesome. Probably be emotional, but I'm gonna watch it. So if y'all out there, Kobe Bryant, you got 2 big Kobe Bryant fans in here. So we will see y'all next Tuesday at 7. All right, guys. Peace. 4th quarter's out.